Right, this is utterly mad.
Yep.
Every time we do this, more and more things go wrong and more people go missing. So what we're doing right now is absolutely everything humanly possible to bring this to you today. So welcome back to the Top Drive Show. Thank you very much, everybody, for your patience. I know that it's been a little while since we put out a full-length episode. In the meantime, though, we showed you some really cool stuff that we've been doing when we had Milos visit, so that was awesome. And yeah, Tim and I are here today to continue the format. This is episode 4 for real. You know the format by now. Make sure to leave your questions down in the comments below and give likes to other questions that you would like to see answered next time. The most liked questions we will put in a short list, and those will be up for grabs today. So we're going to jump right in with some questions, I think.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So top question that we've got, and remember, you get a carbon fiber pack if you're one of our Hutch picks. So a carbon fiber pack for Leo Kerr, for asking, do you think it's a good idea to sell carbon fiber packs for cash as well as gold? Personally, while playing the game, I felt that earning cash is just as easy/difficult as earning gold, so why don't we have the option?
Yeah, this comes up quite a few times. And I mean, it's a difficult balance for this sort of thing. But as you can imagine, you can see there's packs that are available for gold and cash and some that aren't. That's clearly for a reason. We were trying to do something. And well, I mean, it goes back to the core game design, really. What are these different currencies doing? They're creating different strategic tensions, right? So when you've got gold, it's like, are you going to spend it on packs or slots? And when you've got cash, it's like, are you going to spend it on ceramics or upgrading your cars? Pretty much, those are the main sort of things you're choosing between. And when you allow every currency to buy every kind of thing, you lose that particular dynamic. But still, you can see there's a thing where it's like, well, I can buy a ceramic for cash and gold, and then there's carbon fibers, which are a bit better. Like, surely I should be able to do that. But, I mean, obviously they are a very different kind of pack. They guarantee a different tier. It makes ultra rares or Bs harder to get by design. It's really how it's supposed to be working, but more importantly, I think it's what makes the game fun, right? Because you can imagine if you could buy a carbon fiber for cash, it would cost a lot more than a ceramic does. And the way the game works at the moment is that you can open one, or if you're really going to more than one ceramic pack a day, just with the cash you can earn in game. And so that's quite fun. You get this opening experience. There's a chance that anything could be in there. Like the legendaries can pop out, small probability, but you know there's that chance. You get that chance every day. Whereas if it was a carbon fiber, you would be opening that much less often. I mean, depending on how hard you go, you can make between 700 and 1,500 gold in a week. And a carbon fiber is 1,500. So you can imagine a week's worth of cash, if we go for equivalence, gets you one carbon fiber. I think opening one carbon fiber a week is just less fun than opening one ceramic every day. I mean, I've seen some people say they even prefer ceramics because like, you're never disappointed, because you know, well, it's probably going to be rubbish, and when something good comes, you're excited. I think it's really healthy for the game to have that every day. And, you know, theoretically, you could still buy a ceramic, right, if the carbon fibers were available. But you'd always feel like, oh, but I should be saving for the carbon, really. But then you'd be having less fun. So I think it's correct as it is. That's what we're thinking.
Cool. The next question that we've got is from Porsche Guy, who also gets a carbon fiber pack. Well done. Would well-known tracks from F1 like the Nürburgring, Spa, Monaco, etc. fit in the game? They've got a lot of diversity and could be very interesting playing field. So I'm a big fan of Formula One. I really like all of the tracks that you've mentioned here. It would be pretty cool, but I don't know if we have, do we have a line on this?
Well, what can we say? We agree that it would be very cool. Yes, that is true. You might have to adapt things a little bit, obviously, because there's the amount of time a race takes, and that it's sensible to fit in top drives and the size of the environment it makes sense to put in. You might have to adapt things a little bit. But I think for now it's enough to say we think it's very cool, and we are interested to find ways that we might be able to do that. Let's say that for now.
Yeah, that sounds like right. Gonna skip a few questions just so that we got through all of our Hutch picks in one go. So earning a carbon fibre pack for basically for a funny comment. Powell Black saying the Honda Beat isn't the most popular common car. Are we sure we've got our stats right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I double checked that when that came out because players who, you know, are deep into the game and they know what matters when they're putting together a really tight RQ limit hand, know just how powerful it is to have an RQ3 Honda Beat in there on anything twisty, because it won't lose by much and might even win. It's extremely powerful because of that specialism. But aggregate players over the whole player base are not that aware of it. And what I could see from how it's coming up is when people are looking to keep upgrades commons, find which ones they think are best, they just tend to stick with the highest RQ ones. And it's all RQ6s. Largely in the top most popular upgraded ones. So the Honda Beat is in there. It's like the top 10. It's like I think it's literally number 10 out of all the commons. So it's pretty darn high, but I think it's drowned out by people who don't know as much.
And the last Hutch pick for a carbon fibre is from The Collector, who commented on the interview I did with Milos, asking, now this is really cool. Hutch should work something out with him to represent Top Drives at the next Grand Prix event at Monaco.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not sure we have quite enough clout to get Milos to be able to go to the Grand Prix event.
you have to get approved.
There'll be a lot of approval.
So it will be difficult. It would be cool. All right.
It would be amazing, you know. So
we'll see.
Maybe we'll certainly try. Watch this space, but no promises.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions?
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to. There's a few more questions left. So thanks again, everyone, for your questions. Remember to leave yours in the comments and leave likes on others if you want them to be answered. This question from DNF Mania: is there ever going to come an official Top Drives Discord? It would be a great way to talk about the game with other fans and maybe submit new ideas. Now, I'm a big fan of Discord. We've had other games in Hutch's history that have had Discord servers.
Not set up by us.
Not set up by us,
No.
done by fans, and then some of us have come along and joined in.
Yeah.
So, you know, is an official Discord something that we would think about, do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't know, because anything we run, we kind of have to make sure it is accessible and really friendly and a good place to be, and that means you've got to really have some level of moderation.
Yeah, and other staff as well.
Yeah, exactly. We'd have to man it, and so we're currently on the web forum and on the in-game discussion thing. We've got our moderators in those, and we're contributing in those. I think, yeah, it would add another place that we'd have to check, another place we'd have to moderate. I think moderation is harder. You've got to be there in real time more because it's just
it's
stream
messages. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something we really feel a need to add ourselves. Players can set them up, and they have and they do.
Yeah, there's a few Discords around.
Yeah. So I mean, just go ahead and do it. You can use our other forums to recruit people into it. You know, and if you have a good thing going on, then people will join and stay. I mean, that's what you not get any of it. Oh, now it's recording.
Oh no! And the camera just died. Yay! Right. Okay, so we're back. Yeah. We did the Discord question. I think we got to the end of that essentially, so that's all fine. Then the next question comes from The Collector for the second time today. As always, very informative they start, which is a great start to a question. My question to the Hutch panel will be, why doesn't the game have an Untune feature that would allow a person to regress a car in their garage so they could upgrade them in a more desirable way? Is adding this feature difficult to do?
Right. Well, yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think it's that difficult to do. The question is, what does it change about the game? We got a lot more requests for this back last year when you had to upgrade your Elise Sport just the right way to beat Monaco 10. That was kind of the way the game taught a lot of people about what upgrades are important. And then we adjusted a few things, and now that's not as crucial. And so we get a lot fewer people asking for this now, but it's interesting that it's come back now. I think the important thing for any kind of game design thing like that is who would benefit from the change and who would suffer as a result. What kind of people gain an advantage from it? So I think if you could change your mind about a tune and do something else, that means people who are very strategic and careful and monitor which tunes work better and do the right one have less of an advantage, and the people who just upgrade and go, oh no, I did it wrong, I should do it again, they can now perform on par. That doesn't sound great. Also, if you could retune, I think there'd obviously have to be some economic in-game cost to doing so, otherwise the tuning is completely meaningless. And we think it is quite an interesting feature to have. So that means the other people would benefit, other people with loads of in-game resources against those who don't have as many. That doesn't sound like a great move to do things in. Then the other thing though that I do also like about tuning is that, like, because it is permanent, if you want that car with a different tune, you have to get another one and do it with that different tune, and you have to strategically know that that's a good thing to do. And then to have the space to do it, you have to have a broad garage that has those in. That is something that we like about Top Drives. I think it should be about collecting a wide range of cars for every situation, and allowing that strategy to come into play. Which car do I keep? And knowing when it's worth keeping multiples of a certain car and having them upgraded in different ways. So I think it's actually good for the strategy and design of the game that it is permanent, and it gives more of an advantage to the people who are paying more attention to the strategy and are better at choosing which cars to keep. And I think that's as it should be.
Great. Okay, so I think that's where we're going to leave it for questions this time round. Of course, once we've got more questions coming around for episode 5, we'll take care of it. We were going to do popular upgraded cars, but I think we're going to wait until we've got all of our proper equipment so that we can make that look all pretty for you and show you the pictures, because I'm not a good enough editor to put pictures in.
Yeah, I want to talk to John about them as well. Yeah, he's got some interesting things to say. I know how they work in the game, but
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have someone who has a sort of the knowledge about the individual cars and has all these nice things to say about them.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, but we will talk about one car in particular, which is the prize car for the upcoming, as we record, but possibly already running event this weekend, which is for the Pikes Peak. Yeah,
the Suzuki Pikes Peak, which we gave out one time before. There are a lot more players in Top Drives now, and so the number of people who have that car currently is very tiny. It's kind of a rare sight, unless you're an extremely high trophy, high RQ person in the dailies, and then you might see it and you'll know who's got it. Now there's a chance for a lot more people to get it. And I think people don't realise quite how incredible this car is. You kind of have to do a double take when you look at it. It's got this amazing 0 to 60 time, the handling's really great, and it's also four-wheel drive and on all surface tyres. So it's like,
and it's got a dining room table on the back.
I mean, it looks amazing. That's right. It's got this giant front spoiler thing, which is what means it has to be low ride height, because it will barely get over a leaf. But it's pretty amazing. So what I realised is that in the past we've shown these comparisons of a few races, but you sort of want to see more comparisons at once to get a feel for how it is. So this time around, trying out data visualization, right? So where's my chart on this? I picked out a few of the top cars and picked some interesting races to compare them on. And it's about seeing how does this thing perform on asphalt, and then how does it perform as soon as things get a little bit less easy to grip. So I've just compared the twisty circuit, hairpin, and the twisty road, all on dry asphalt, and then what happens if it starts raining. Obviously, if then you go to snow or gravel or sand, the advantage of all surface versus performance will become even more pronounced. So here we go. Right, so I think we can put this image up. And I'm comparing the Pikes Peak against some of these other amazing reference cars, the P1, the Chiron, and the 918 Spider. Colour-coded based on their colours in the picture in the game.
Very good, that's handy.
And these are their times on those various tracks, so that means a smaller bar is a quicker time and is the car that wins.
Right, so immediately you can see that in the wet, it's a beast.
Yeah, it's kind of mad. So, I mean, the lower charts show what's going on when it's raining, and it's winning all of those against those amazing cars. You know, even the ones which are four-wheel drive, the advantage of the all-surface tyres, where it's twisty in particular, and it's got really good handling, come in, and it gets the advantage. It's also extremely light, which helps on the cornering as well. Well, I think its performance in the dry, I mean, it's not winning all those, but it's doing well in a bunch. It doesn't beat the 918 Spider all the time, and a straight up standing start twisty circuit, it's a bit behind the others. But as soon as you get into the hairpin or the twisty road, and that cornering really matters, it gets the advantage of the low 0 to 60. It's got the handling going for it, it's got the weight going for it, and it's actually beating the P1 and the Chiron. Only the 918 Spider is outpacing it, and that's in the dry. Like I say, as soon as it gets wet, or even worse than that, it's going to be just an amazing car.
Wow.
I mean, benchmarking it, interestingly, if you go against the Dakar, Dakar's got off-road tyres. It's also quite light, doesn't have four-wheel drive, doesn't have traction control. The Dakar does beat the Pikes Peak on a twisty, snowy situation, like the twisty road and so on. The off-road tyres give it the advantage. But the Dakar's handling is not that good. The Dakar then is further beaten, infamously now, by the Metro, which has off-road tyres and incredibly amazing handling. And so you actually end up with a situation where the Pikes Peak beats the Metro and the Dakar in the dry. It loses to both in the snow, and the Dakar comes in the middle of the two in either situation. So you can start to see this thing, which was the weird, confusing thing that's gradually becoming clear, that the Dakar is actually kind of an all-rounder.
Yeah.
It's not the very best in any situation, because it's got the off-road tyres, but its handling is terrible. So the Pikes Peak is just incredible. Its only weak point is the super heavy off-road, where the off-road tyres are going to be better. Apart from that, it's pretty amazing everywhere.
Yeah. So to go back to a question from a few episodes ago, when somebody asked, are we going to ever resurrect prize cars? Yes.
Well, here it is. This is the first prize car resurrection. Well, I mean, we've done a few smaller ones of less important cars, but like this is the first major prize car coming back. And we're trying out this thing where, because it's such an amazing car, we kind of don't think it would be good for the game if people had multiple of it. So we're trying out this thing where if you have it already, you literally won't be able to enter the final, but you will be entering a special event that you can only enter if you've got the Pikes Peak, that will give you some very cool prizes. And I mean, we've not done it before, we're not quite sure exactly how it will work. There won't be that many people as well, there won't be huge shards this time around. Because like I say, last time we ran it was 2017, there were fewer people playing. I think it was also quite hard to enter as well. It was like 5 times Suzuki, and not that many people had many Suzukis at the time, which meant, you know, even fewer people got it. So they're going to have quite an interesting event there with hardly anybody in it. But we're trying it out as the format to make this work and enable us to rerun prize car events.
Yeah, just to nip that question in the bud, you know, like what happens if somebody has two?
Yeah,
that won't happen.
This is how it's going to work.
Yeah. So a slightly shorter episode than normal, but thank you very much, as always, for joining us. You know the rules by now. Put your question down below. Make sure that you're subscribed if you aren't already, and hit the little bell for the notifications so you can see our videos as soon as they come out. We will be back in a couple of weeks, I suppose, and hopefully with the whole crew reassembled and real microphones and real everything. It'll be amazing. Just you wait and see. We'll talk about the popular S and top 3 prize cars, and whatever else you have asked us to talk about then. So in the meantime, thank you very much for playing Top Drives, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.